So the Washington Post is in the midst of a scandal right now. The writers over at the Washington Post had already written up an endorsement for Kamala Harris, and they were ready to publish it. And then at the last second, Jeff Bezos, the billionaire owner, stepped in and decided to kill the endorsement and ban his own paper from speaking their mind and writing what they want to write. Here's what they say. An endorsement of Harris had been drafted by Post editorial page staffers, but had yet to be published, according to two sources briefed on the sequence of events who spoke on the condition of anonymity because they were not authorized to speak publicly. The decision not to publish was made by the Post owner, Amazon founder Jeff Bezos. So stop and think about what just happened here. Why? Why did he do this? This is not rocket science. It's not hard to figure out. He's afraid if Trump wins, he's going to cancel his government contracts. He's going to cancel his subsidies. He's not going to give him his tax cuts. He's afraid of revenge and retribution being taken against him for owning a paper that endorsed Kamala Harris. It's quite an admission that he knows Trump is a fascist. He knows Trump is an authoritarian. He knows he's going to throw the book at him if he gets elected. And he's hedging. He's afraid of that, so he's like, pull your punches. Well, if you're already at the point where you're pulling punches over fear of retribution, we are already in that authoritarian society. Because it's already not a free media. This is not a free media. This is a controlled media. So look, from my perspective, everywhere I look, I see shitty media, right? There is no independent media anymore. It's just new corporate media. They have the same incentives as mainstream media now, and they sit there and they play patty cakes with their politicians that they like. We just saw this with Joe Rogan and Trump. He basically gave him a hot stone massage on air. There is no independent media. There was a time when we were all excited about the notion of, oh, bro, there's going to be an independent media. People tell the truth, they're authentic, they're genuine, they can actually call out politicians in a way that you'd never see somebody in mainstream media do because there is no boss you have to answer to, you could just speak your mind. We were all excited about that. But independent media has shit the bed. They've fallen victim and prey to the exact same set of perverse incentives as mainstream media. So there's old corporate media and there's new corporate media now. That's it. But here we go, back to mainstream media, right? Washington Post, New York Times, these are like the papers of record, right? Washington Post, they just got axed from doing what they wanted to do. By the way, people are leaving Washington Post now in droves. They are unsubscribing from the Washington Post in droves. Because they just gave the game away. By the way, remember, what's their tagline? Democracy dies in darkness? Your billionaire owner just censored you from speaking your mind because he wants to keep his government contracts and he's afraid of retribution. Don't stop with your sanctimonious platitude bullshit. You don't believe a goddamn word of it. Washington Post editor-at-large Robert Kagan resigns over paper's decision not to endorse Kamala. Washington Post editor-at-large Robert Kagan resigned on Friday over the newspaper's decision not to endorse Kamala Harris. While a number of staff are reportedly angry and considering exiting the paper over the decision, Kagan's resignation is particularly notable, not just because of his standing at the publication, but because of his ties to Republican politics. So in the past, he was a Republican. He switched to Democrat a little while ago, actually quite a while ago, I think. But some people are taking a stand. Now, the final point I want to make about this is very simple, guys. If Bezos exerts influence over this, why would anybody think he's not exerting influence over other topics, right? Why would he not hold the paper back from making certain criticisms of his CEO friends or people who he does business with, right? Are they going to bite their tongue when it comes to the military-industrial complex? Are they going to bite their tongue when it comes to big pharma? Are they going to bite their tongue when it comes to money in politics? Like, if he is exerting direct control over this paper, that means it is across the board. There are a number of taboo things you can't talk about because Big Boss Man is going to come in and shut you down quite directly. That's exactly what happened here, and that's an indication it's happened in other contexts as well. By the way, I remember when people freaked out when Bernie accused the Washington Post of being beholden to the billionaire owner Jeff Bezos in the past. And now, complete and utter vindication. Complete and utter vindication. And so, unfortunately, this is our media landscape. Mainstream media, full of hacks, controlled by billionaires. So-called independent media, new corporate media, full of hacks and controlled by clout-seeking little freaks. That's the bottom line. Hey, y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop, and watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.